All right, by now you know cooler temperatures are heading our way for the weekend. Summer fans, you may want to turn away. Today is our last day with average highs of 80 degrees or higher. Moving forward, it will be a steep drop off, and over the next couple of weeks, you'll start to feel it. Average highs tomorrow, 79 degrees. 2 weeks from now, 74. 4 weeks from now, 72. And 6 weeks from now, as we head into early October, average highs quickly dipping in to just the mid-60s. So it won't be long. We'll be switching the seasons here and trading those shorts for the hoodies as we dig deeper into the fall time season. Of course, there's still going to be a few warm days between now and then, but they will become harder and harder to get. 74 degrees in Madison right now. Dew point is at 64, so a little humidity out there. Winds out of the southwest at 5 miles an hour. We do have an 80 in Baraboo, 79 in Janesville. It's 73 right now in Beaver Dam. Widening the map out. Still no real signs of that cooler air just yet, but I think in the next day or two, you'll start to notice it to the north. And when we take a look at SkyTracker HD, you can tell where it's going to be coming from. Here's the cold front that will bring all the changes as we kick off the weekend. Still pretty far to the west, so no immediate concerns for rain or storms locally. High pressure still in control. In fact, we should start to clear the skies out pretty quickly this evening. And as we head into tonight, at least temporarily, we'll go mainly clear, and that will allow for a little fog development after midnight through tomorrow morning. But as the sun comes up tomorrow and the fog lifts away, we will start to build the clouds, and we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy as we head into Friday afternoon and evening. And then sometime around sunset, probably thereafter, we'll get into the chance of some spotty showers. You can see this kind of dissipating as it moves through, but we will keep the chance of a shower, maybe a storm through early Saturday morning. And while we'll start off cloudy on Saturday, we'll break out in the sunshine for the afternoon. So we're kind of going these waves here, bringing the clouds back, taking them away, and we'll have some nice weather in between. Again, best chance of rain looks to be Friday evening, night, and first thing Saturday morning before we salvage most of the weekend with sunshine making a return. Clearing skies tonight, some fog out there, 59 tomorrow, increasing clouds, 78. That shower chance late Friday and into Saturday, 75 Saturday, just 69 on Sunday, and even cooler by Monday with highs into the mid-60s. Couple days with highs into the 60s, couple nights with lows only into the 40s. So we will enjoy that beautiful stretch next week, Cam, and it looks like we'll have some sunshine to go with it, so you can't beat it.
Yeah, and it's a little chilly. I'm gonna have to bring a sweater, Brian.
Especially after all the heat and humidity. Yes. It's gonna take a little bit of getting used to.
Whew. Thank you, Brian.
Yep.